There's a moment almost no one talks about. It happens quietly, without witnesses. Maybe it's midday. You pause what you're doing, and your hand instinctively presses into your lower back. It's not in panic, not in drama, but in a silent negotiation with an ache that's become all too familiar. You're asking for just a moment of relief. This quiet, personal moment is shared by millions of people across the world every single day. Yet it rarely makes headlines. There are no breaking news alerts for chronic back pain. And still, it's one of the most widespread physical struggles of modern life. For too long, we've been told that lower back pain is just an unavoidable tax on aging. A sentence handed down once you hit a certain age. But that story is incomplete, and honestly, it's dangerously misleading. What we're actually seeing isn't just simple wear and tear. It's a systemic breakdown in how our bodies are forced to move. We're not moving in a world that demands stillness more than motion. For decades, the conventional approach has been to treat the back like a broken machine. Prescribe rest, mask the symptoms, and hope for the best. But new research tells a much more complex story. Pain isn't just damage. Pain is communication. Your lower back is often the body's primary messenger when something fundamental is wrong. This isn't a story about needing to do more or work harder. It's about learning to work smarter with your own body. As we get older, our bodies don't just weaken, they reorganize. The neural pathways that control our muscles change. Those deep, stabilizing muscles that once fired automatically start to go quiet. We sit for hours, and when we do move, we move cautiously. Our brain senses this instability and does what it thinks is best. It tightens everything up. Muscles guard, joints stiffen, and pain emerges. Not as an enemy, but as a warning flare, signaling that the system is out of balance. What makes this crisis so tricky is how quietly it develops. It's usually not from one single injury. It's a slow erosion, a gradual disconnection between your brain, your spine, and the deep core muscles that are supposed to work in perfect harmony. By the time the pain becomes a constant companion, your body has already learned to adapt to dysfunction. This is where most treatments fail. They focus on building strength without awareness or stretching for flexibility without control. But the body doesn't heal through brute force. It heals through reconnection. At the very center of this reconnection is a movement so simple, it's often completely overlooked: the pelvic tilt. On the surface, it seems like nothing. No sweat, no strain. But beneath its simplicity lies something incredibly profound. The pelvic tilt isn't an exercise of power, it's an exercise of communication. When you do it mindfully, you're reintroducing your brain to muscles. It has literally forgotten how to speak to the deep abdominal stabilizers. The muscles around your lumbar spine and your pelvic floor, these structures are the command center for almost all human movement. When they lose coordination, the lower back takes the punishment. Years of sitting and moving with fear teach our nervous system to shut down these crucial stabilizers. Pelvic tilt acts like a system reboot. Each gentle, controlled motion sends a signal up to your brain that says, this area is safe to move again. This is not a threat. This is control. As your pelvis learns to tilt freely, the pressure across your lower vertebrae begins to redistribute. Your posture subtly improves. That morning stiffness starts to ease. The pain doesn't just vanish overnight, but it starts to lose its grip because your body is no longer fighting against itself. This movement isn't about aggressively flattening your back. It's about restoring trust between your brain and your body. It's a slow exhale, a gentle tilt, a quiet reawakening. And when this communication is restored, something else incredible happens. The fear of movement begins to fade. You start to realize that in many cases, the pain wasn't caused by motion itself, but by the absence of intelligent, mindful motion. This is the first, most critical turning point. It's not about stretching harder or pushing further. It's about listening more closely to your body. Because once this foundational connection begins to reawaken, your body is finally ready for something deeper, something stronger. It's ready to learn how to shift the burden away from your spine and back to where it was always meant to be. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more insights on moving smarter, not harder. When the brain and spine start talking again, the body has a new demand. It's not rest, it's support. Just being aware isn't enough. Reconnection needs to be followed by activation. And in the way we're built to move, one system is designed to carry weight, absorb shock. and protect the lower back from giving out the hips. For many people over 60, the hips have quietly given up their job. Years of sitting, moving cautiously, and avoiding pain have passed that responsibility up to the lower back, forcing it to do work it was never meant to do alone. This change is subtle, but the results are serious. Every time you get out of a chair, walk upstairs, or steady yourself while walking, your lower back takes on stress that was meant for your glutes and thighs. This is how pain becomes chronic, not because your back is weak, but because it's overworked. At the heart of this problem is a group of muscles often called the body's engine, the glutes. These muscles aren't just for looks or athletic power. They are absolutely essential for balance, stable walking, and protecting your spine. When they switch off, your body compensates by tightening your lower back and the fronts of your hips. This leads to stiffness, compression, and eventually pain. This is where the glute bridge comes in. It's not just another exercise. It's a way to reclaim that lost responsibility. Unlike aggressive strengthening moves, the glute bridge teaches your body how to lift with control, one vertebra at a time, one breath at a time. It restores the natural sequence of movement, hips first, then the spine. This order is critical. Without it, movement is chaotic, and the nervous system goes into defense mode, guarding against potential harm. Each controlled lift reactivates what's called the posterior chain-connected network of muscles running from your calves, through your hamstrings and glutes, all the way up to the stabilizers in your spine. This chain is your body's natural shock absorber. When it works correctly, pressure spreads out, balance gets better, and the spine is no longer under constant attack. But there's another layer here that often gets missed, especially for older adults. The glute bridge also restores confidence, not just emotional confidence, but neurological confidence. The brain starts to trust the body's ability to create force safely. This trust reduces the protective tension that is a hidden driver of chronic pain. The simple act of lifting your hips off the ground, even just a little, sends a powerful message. I can rise without getting hurt. This is more important than most people think. When pain has been around for months or years, the nervous system becomes hyper-aware. Movements that used to be automatic now cause hesitation. The glute bridge challenges this pattern in a safe, controlled way. There's no rush, no instability. It's deliberate activation. And when you do it right, your lower back doesn't work hard. It works less. As your glutes engage, they take over the job of lifting. Your spine can stay neutral. Your pelvis stabilizes, pressure decreases, and relief follows. Not because you attacked the pain, but because you redistributed the workload. But even with strength coming back, another problem often remains hidden: compression. Your spine, especially the lower back, deals with constant downward pressure. Gravity is relentless. Over time, even a well-supported back can feel dense, heavy, and restricted. Muscles tighten not just from weakness, but from being held in short positions for too long. So now we shift from activation to release. The single nitto chest movement might look simple and passive, but it's vital for spinal health. Gently creates space between your vertebrae, little decompression. It softens the hip flexors that get tight from so much sitting. And maybe most importantly, it brings deep diaphragmatic breathing back into your movement. Your breath and your spine are inseparable. When your breathing is shallow, your spinal muscles stay tense. When you breathe deeply, your nervous system calms down, and healing can actually begin. As you draw your knee toward your chest, your lower back lengthens, not with force, but willingly. Circulation improves. Nerve irritation eases. For many, this is the first time in years their back truly relaxes. This isn't about stretching for performance. It's about stretching for permission. Permission for your body to let go of its guard. Permission to move without fear. Permission to trust that relief doesn't require aggressive action. As release follows activation, a pattern starts to form: awareness, strength, decompression. Each layer prepares the body for the next. But there is still a deeper source of pain left unaddressed, one that hides beneath the surface of the hips, tangling nerves, distorting how you walk, and silently undermining your balance. We'll explore that next. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next part of our journey. Not all pain announces itself where it originates. Some pain travels. Some pain disguises itself. For many of us, especially as we get older, it comes from places we were never taught to look. Deep within your hip, there's a small but powerful muscle with a huge influence on your movement, balance, and nerve health. It's not a muscle you can see or feel on the surface. No, when it tightens, it can disrupt your entire system. This is the piriformis muscle, located deep beneath your glutes. The piriformis helps stabilize your hip. But its location right next to the sciatic nerve is what makes it a hidden troublemaker. When this muscle gets tense, it can squeeze that nerve, creating a pain that shoots from your hip into your lower back, and sometimes all the way down your leg to your foot. Many people mistake this for a spine issue. They get treatments for their discs and vertebrae, but the real source of the pain remains untouched. It's leading to frustration and pain that just keeps coming back. The good news is, there's a simple solution. The piriformis stretch isn't dramatic or aggressive. You don't need to pull or strain, but its effect can be life-changing. When this muscle releases, it does more than just ease discomfort, it creates space. Space for the sciatic nerve to move freely. Space for your hips to rotate naturally. It's like telling your nervous system it's okay to relax. Studies on how we walk show that when hip rotation is limited, it completely changes our gait. Our steps get shorter, our balance gets worse, and the risk of falling goes up. This happens because our body starts moving unevenly. One side overcompensates, while the other tenses up. The piriformis stretch helps fix this imbalance. By gently opening up those deep hip muscles, it allows your pelvis to move more evenly. When your hips can move freely, your spine doesn't have to twist and compensate, and the pressure evens out. But this isn't just about flexibility. It's about retraining your nervous system. Chronic pain puts your body on constant high alert. Your muscles stay tight because your brain expects danger. Slow, gentle stretching sends a new message. It signals safety, control, and permission to release. You are re-educating your body, one stretch at a time. Once you start releasing that deep hip tension, another major contributor to lower back pain often reveals itself. Your hamstrings. These are the big muscles running down the back of your thighs. When they get tight, they pull your pelvis downward, throwing your spine out of alignment and adding pressure to your lower back. This tightness isn't just about getting older. It's often a result of inactivity. Your body is trying to protect you by limiting your range of motion. A proper hamstring stretch doesn't fight this protective instinct. It works with it. By gently lifting and extending your leg only to where it feels comfortable, you're having a conversation with your nervous system, slowly teaching it what feels safe. Over time, your brain will allow more length, not because you forced it, but because it learned to trust the movement. As your hamstrings become more flexible, your pelvic alignment improves, your spine stacks more naturally, and pressure is taken off your lower back. Movement becomes smoother. What you're doing is reintegrating your body, helping it move as one coordinated unit again. The hips support, the spine stabilizes, and the muscles share the load. Your pain no longer needs to shout to be heard. But here's the key. None of this works without consistent, intelligent practice. It's about showing up for your body gently, day after day. If you've been dealing with this kind of persistent pain, give these simple stretches a try. You might be surprised at how much relief you can find just by listening to what your body is trying to tell you. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more tips on moving better and feeling your best. See you next time.